I am going to a first communion party tomorrow, and I was thinking of telling the first communioner that God's not real. Do you guys think that's a good idea? Or should I keep that to myself? Would it cause a scene? Would I be
best to
thrown out of the party?
Probably best to stay in your lane in a situation like that.
Yeah. That's probably solid advice.
Can you just go sit? Like, is there going to be alcohol? Can you just go sit by the cooler and get drunk?
I'm going to get drunk for
okay.
sure.
All right. Maybe just do that.
I'm a Catholic, though. I can engage and I can have my say. But you think I should shy away from making such statements, right?
You do have the right to speak up. It's not like you're speaking out of pocket.
It's my religion, too.
Yeah, I've been there as well.
But maybe not the time or the place to say
not.
such a thing.
Maybe
All right,
not.
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
See, I thought you guys would have good advice. I was just curious what you thought.
No, but I would drink all the beers.
I'll drink the beers.
Have some of those, some of the sandwich platter. Whatever.
I love a good sandwich platter.
Yeah. Which is surprising because there's a lot of fingers going in and out of that platter. I'm surprised you like that.
I like the taste. I like a good sandwich. I don't like
when
other people have the ability to put their dirty, grubby mitts on food that I will be eating.
Let me ask you this. Do you prefer the pre-made sandwich platter or the lunch meat platter that you like grab with the little clippers and put on your bread?
Aesthetically and taste-wise, I like with just the rolled meats, and I can make my own sandwich, but I think that's more susceptible to people picking up with their hands and not using the proper utensils.
They're like, oh, I'm just going to grab a slice of turkey and fucking nosh on it while I'm walking in line.
So because of that, I prefer the
sandwich.
Pick from the back a sandwich that, more than likely has not been touched by unwashed hands.
I think that's fair. My only issue with that one is that it's always a little soggy because of that lettuce and tomato that's been sitting on there for a while.
That's true.
You get that sogginess, which I do not love.
Nothing's perfect. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to hit that up early in the party.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's an early like appetizer, even almost. Like you just grab that fucking slice of sandwich, and then wait for the main course coming out.
Yeah. First in line. Well, you got to elbow the priest because they're always fucking in first in line trying to eat, right? Priest is up there.
Are priests still invited to those parties?
I don't know. I assume.
At my first communion, we did not invite the priest.
No?
Or at least if we did, he was not there.
Yeah,
I was also very sick at my first communion. I think I've told this story.
You have.
I puked my brains out all day in my first communion. My
eating...
body rejected.
Yeah, the body of Christ. Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
It's cannibalism. Of course it did.
My body was like, not today. Nope.
You're not getting me, Jesus.
You ain't getting me
not
that way.
ingesting this.
Well, I will take more of that wine, though.
It's good wine.
I think that's what my body was saying.
When I was an altar boy, I did
like
to sample that wine in the back room. It was pretty fucking tasty. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I have all kinds of questions. We'll save that for a longer debate one day. We have some updates.
We do
tonight.
We do.
Ian, you're leading us off. You got a big one.
I'm back on the
That's
UFO
what I heard too.
There's been a lot going on in the world of UFOs in the past couple days. If you remember back a couple months ago, I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago, year. My time frames are really not very accurate, but we talked about Immaculate Constellation a while back. It was a alleged government program with a lot of UFO information, classification systems. And Jeremy Corbell, the UFO bro, the guy with the beard and everything, he submitted that into the record for the one Congress congressional hearing on UFOs. We never knew who wrote that or anything. He just kind of had it. Now we know who wrote it. There's a whistleblower that came out. And I think he, so far, sounds super credible.
Wow. I remember the Immaculate Constellation stuff.
That's a good fucking name for a program about aliens.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
Whoever came up with that in the CIA or wherever that was made.
Yeah, that's solid.
They deserve a promotion.
Yeah. So this comes from the Daily Mail. They sum it up. They have a good article about it. The Pentagon whistleblower fears execution after revealing bombshell UFO program studying alien tech. The whistleblower behind a stunning report submitted to Congress exposing what he claims is a secret Pentagon program tracking unidentified anomalous phenomena has now revealed his identity and says he fears for his future in speaking out. This dude's pretty legit too. Like, he is who he says he is as far as like his jobs are concerned. Matthew Brown is a former U.S. national security official who previously served as a policy advisor for the Office of the Secretary of Defense, a technical advisor for the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, and a program advisor for the Department of State.
How the fuck they fit that on a business card?
That's a lot of positions. He's plugged in. So a guy like that's plugged in.
Yeah. And he's a young guy. He went to college for all kind of, he's a very smart guy. And he said in the beginning of the interview, he's like, I'm throwing away all my relationships with people, all the people I work with that I love, and I'm putting everything out there for doing this. Because
you do something like this, you're persona non grata across the board.
If he
no one will take your call.
No, and if he actually like shows some actual like paperwork or something, because he starts talking about Marco Rubio and stuff, like this dude might actually be like fucked, like a Edward Snowden type guy.
Yeah,
if it's legit.
Did this just happen then?
2 days ago, yeah.
So he was current in his position until then.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know if he jumped ship whenever he reached out to Jeremy Corbell or not. I don't know how that worked. So he publicly identified himself as the whistleblower in Weaponized, episode 74, a podcast released Tuesday that is hosted by investigative journalists and UFO experts Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. Brown is the author of the Immaculate Constellation Field Report, a document entered into the congressional record earlier this year that alleges the executive branch has been secretly managing UAP programs for decades without congressional oversight. Quote, "This is absolutely what I did not want to do," Brown said during the podcast. "I am on a personal level giving up the future that I made for myself and was going to try and make for a family. My hope is that the stakes are not paid out, but they are life imprisonment and the possibility of execution." Brown, who held top secret sensitive compartmented information clearances with a counterintelligence scope polygraph during his government career, is bound by strict secrecy agreements that carry steep penalties if classified information is improperly disclosed. Brown said he discovered references to the program in 2018 while reviewing classified materials at the Pentagon. It was, quote, 100% accidental, he said on the podcast. Quote, "So the first exposure, or the exposure to Immaculate Constellation, happened on a shared server that was shared by all offices in OSD. I was opening files that were clearly misfiled." So he's randomly going through stuff one night, and it was interesting. I recommend that everybody go listen to this guy talk. The first part's like a 45-minute episode, but he goes into explaining how this stuff works, like as far as like when you say, "Oh, I stumbled upon a UFO video," when you work for the Pentagon, like he explained how that happens, like how they have their own, basically like their own internet, their own secret internet, and people will just upload. Like the Navy, someone from the Navy will upload a video of a UFO to the secret internet, and it has to be classified a certain way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's interesting how he explained all that stuff.
I feel like they like some of this stuff being pushed out there because it just creates
it's more
disinformation, confusion as to what's real and what's not.
It even absolutely does.
Yeah, even if there is some bit of credibility to it, or all credibility to it.
Well, and just so this came out on Tuesday. Today is Thursday, right? Or
Friday.
As we record, it's Friday. This is going to come out on a Saturday.
So yesterday, so that's Thursday, Luis Elizondo, the original guy from ATIP, that with Tom DeLonge and everything, that guy's been very questionable in the past year or so with things that he's releasing. he went in front of a congressional hearing yesterday talking about UFOs and submitted a UFO that he claimed was 1,000 feet wide. And it was debunked online within a matter of hours. So I'm 100% confident that dude is like a disinformation spreader or something at this point.
1,000 feet wide.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy's facing life in prison or execution for something like this.
Unless he has...
Still scary, though.
Yeah. And unless he has some like crazy thing to expose like Edward Snowden did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It takes a lot to blow up your whole career and career path. Something I assume you strongly believe in, getting the word out.
Yeah.
When you know a lot of
I mean, either that
people
or
aren't going to
you're
believe
just
you,
a
right?
head case in some circumstances.
Sure.
I'm not saying that's this, but I'm saying other ones.
Or you're like, this government job doesn't pay all that well. I want to catapult myself into the private sector and
do any government
this
jobs
kind
pay
of
very
thing.
well? Probably not.
Not that much, no. Seems more fun out there in the UFO sphere, the conspiracy theory / whatever you want to call it.
Dave, I know a guy. He's the president of MUFON. He can probably get you a job if you want a job. I'm not sure what the pay is.
Have you reached out to this guy, Ian? Have you offered him a contract?
So he says when he's going through this, quote, I read transcriptions of Sean Kirkpatrick briefing Senator Rubio, Senator Warren, and Senator Gillibrand. My blood ran cold at a specific point. Mr. Rubio's response was, quote, well, what the hell is the executive branch doing? Have they been running this for 60 years without congressional oversight? Brown revealed that he had read through classified mission reports, one of which documented a naval operation in the Pacific where a large black triangle-shaped UFO decloaked, that's quote, decloaked, out of thin air over several Russian vessels. The Russian ships appeared to be waiting for this ship to appear, and according to the photos in the report, Brown believes the United States photographed the incident using a top-secret submersible vehicle.
No shit.
He talks about a lot of stuff where things that would sound like UFOs, like crazy technology, he's like, no, that's us. That's being tested by us. But then there's, he says we would be very surprised if we knew, what the capabilities are behind the scenes.
Well, Mr. Rubio is now himself part of the executive branch and also the current interim acting National Security Advisor, so I expect him.
I look forward to Mr. Rubio's
releasing this information this week, right? Somehow, I don't think that's going to happen.
They all say they want to release it, and I do believe them.
But when they get in a position to be able to, it just never happens, does it?
I think that there's people telling them, "Hey, by the way, you can't fucking release this. Yeah. Here's what you can release." Chaos and confusion.
Yeah, and keep it that way.
These fuck boys on Necro Overtime will talk about any shit and shit out.
The whistleblower explained that the ultimate goal of Immaculate Constellation is to achieve a global surveillance of all UAPs worldwide. Brown said he ultimately decided to go public not for political reasons, but because he believed the truth could no longer be buried. Quote, ultimately, my biggest fear is what humanity will do to itself out of fear and greed, he said. We have built a prison around ourselves. It's invisible, but it's not complete, and there's still time to maybe alter our trajectory.
Not sure I fully understand this guy's gripe.
Yeah, I think... I don't know either, and this is being released in a 3-part kind of podcast series. So this just came out the other day. Next week there'll be another. The week after that there'll be another. So I don't know if we're gonna get more of that.
Yeah, like I fully believe we need to monitor worldwide all UAP activity. That's fine. And sometimes there's things in the pursuit of national defense that everyone doesn't need to be aware of. It has to be that way.
I agree. I fully agree.
Yeah.
It has to.
You can't have chaos and panic.
No.
And I always think back to like when Ian said on one of the shows, like they just might have a science that we have not discovered or understand yet. And you can't just go public with that.
Right.
And be like, oh, well, they have forms that can just like disappear and then reshape or something, whatever that effect. You can't just be like, oh, yeah, this is what they got going on.
You can't bring the downfall of society with
We're fucked, by the way,
right.
but,
Yeah, there's no good answer.
No.
But I'm curious to see what happens.
Well, there's those people that are like, well, they need to be honest with us on everything.
Well, no.
I get what you're saying, but no.
No, I don't agree with that.
No.
There has to be secrets.
There has to be.
Also, it makes things more fun when there's secrets.
Yeah, for sure.
Half this fucking country would be out of a job if there was no secrets to, investigate and conspiracies to talk about.
Us included.
To an extent. We solved most of them. Not to brag, but, we solved most of them.
Right. All right, so I assume we're going to have an update on this in a couple weeks.
In a few weeks, yeah.
Yeah, he said, here's the other interesting thing that he said in there, which I said before, everybody listening, go out and check it out, because it's worth saying through the whole part. But the one thing I wanted to bring up to you guys, he said, at the same time, or the article says, at the same time, Brown mentioned the existence of RVs, reproduction vehicles, and the existence of ARVs. So reproduction vehicles, he says that those are things that we've reverse engineered. That's what he suspects that means. ARVs, Jeremy Corbell jumped to saying that A stood for alien. Like, does that stand for alien? This is what makes me believe this guy a little more. He said that he doesn't know what that A stands for.
Interesting.
He knows the R stands for reproductive or reproduction because he saw that in the file, but he did not see he does not know what the A means. He said it could mean something as basic as advanced.
Yeah.
So maybe there'll be more to this. I hope so. I hope that he releases something good.
The
finally.
truth is out there.
Or I'll just look like a fool again. It's all right.
Hey, all you're doing is telling the story of what they're reporting.
Yeah, but I'm like actually excited about this one because this dude, he seems believable. It's not like a jokey type guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is who he says he is. So at the end of the day, he's fucking up his life for some reason.
Yeah. Either this or mental illness.
Or trying to make some money with Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, which I don't think Jeremy Corbell, he's fine. But people say what they want about him. I think he's fine.
Yeah. When I was in high school, my reproduction vehicle was my 1980 Volkswagen Rabbit.
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that the one that had the upside down cross painted on it?
That was my 77 Camaro. That was my next reproduction vehicle. That was the one with the floorboards where you could shoot bottle rockets and smoke bombs out of the hole in the floorboards.
I was fucking gangbanging around town with a Chevy Cavalier. A 2002 Chevy Cavalier.
Nice.
I think that was the same car I had, too.
Yeah? I had the blue. Did you have the blue?
No, mine was silver.
Okay. That was a cool one, too.
Getting all the honeys wet in the reproduction vehicle.
Well, that's what you gotta do, right?
My Camaro did have an upside down cross on the hood when I bought it. It's ridiculous.
I didn't even know that. And you must have Ian mentioned it. You must have said that before, and I just
That was
missed it.
The Rabbit was the one where you plugged up the windshield wiper fluid stem on the passenger side, and you curved it off to the right. And you could shoot it in people's windows when you pulled up next to them. You get shot now doing that, but it was, carefree in the 80s.
Whatever you guys had to do for fun, I guess.
Streets of Cleveland, wilding out there.
That's something.
All right, good story.
Dave, you got something for us?
I have an update to a story that just broke a couple hours ago. This is a story we did on Patreon a couple months ago, a local murder story.
Patreon.com/Necronomapod.
Patreon.com/Necronomapod. This, if people remember, this was the Aliza Sherman case. She was murdered in downtown Cleveland many years ago. There was an arrest today.
We should say, spoiler alert, if you're going to join Patreon and listen, you should go do that right now and then come back and listen to this episode.
Yeah, because it's an interesting story.
Because what we're about to say is, there's going to be some spoilers for that Patreon episode. You've been warned.
You have been warned. Thanks for the warning.
I'm sorry to cut you off again.
No, that was good. 12 years after Cleveland Clinic nurse Aliza Sherman, 53, was brutally stabbed to death in broad daylight, the attorney representing her in a divorce case has been indicted for her death.
What?
This is fucking nuts, this story. According to the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office, 51-year-old Gregory Moore is charged with 1 count of aggravated murder, 1 count of conspiracy, 6 counts of murder, and 2 counts of kidnapping. Sherman, a mother of 4, was killed in the middle of the day in downtown Cleveland on March 24th, 2013, near Moore's office. Quote, the Sherman family has waited over a decade for answers regarding their mother's homicide, said Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael O'Malley. Through the tenacious work of multiple law enforcement agencies, evidence was accumulated that paints the unmistakable picture that Gregory Moore orchestrated and participated in the brutal murder of Aliza Sherman. According to the indictment, an individual who was either Moore or an unknown co-conspirator approached Sherman on East 12th Street, circled behind her, chased her, and then stabbed her more than 10 times. So I think they're not exactly sure if this fucking guy stabbed her himself or paid someone to do it or whatnot, but I think they finally conclude that he was involved in this.
Well, I remember from the show that the surveillance footage, the person seen walking away, a lot of people theorized that it could have been a woman because of the frame of the person.
Mm-hmm. And it was, I mean, we can't rehash the whole case, but it was a weird thing where he was supposed to meet her down there in his office, and he kept putting her off. And this was like the day before they were going to trial, and he didn't appear to be ready. And she went to his building when he was supposed to be there, and he wasn't there, and all kinds of stuff where it really felt like he was setting her up.
Mm-hmm. And he kept saying that he was there. He was texting her saying like, oh yeah, I'm here. And then later on you find that he was not.
And the police determined later he wasn't even in the building. So they arrested this guy in Texas today at a relative's house. And then his home in Sagamore Hills, Ohio, not too far from here. The Ohio BCI executed a search warrant on his place.
What a twist.
It really, we talked about it then. We're like, there's something really shady about this guy because he had been indicted before and sentenced to 6 months in jail, if I recall correctly, for similar nonsense that he called in a bomb threat. That's what it was.
Yeah. He didn't save some for Patreon. Save some for Patreon.
Sorry, but yeah, that's what happened though. He called in a bomb threat for a case like he didn't want to be at.
That's what
he didn't want to be in court or something. That was his answer.
When I was reading about that case and when we found that to cover it, I got to the point in reading about it where that he was calling in bomb threats to get out of work, essentially. Like he wasn't ready for the for a court case, so he would just call in a bomb threat. He did it multiple times.
If he put half of the motivation he put into threats into actually just doing his job, he'd be a pretty competent lawyer,
right?
So that's what I when I read that, I'm like, oh man, I just want to cover this just so we can make fun of this guy because this is fucking absurd. Why would you act like this?
So there's a couple scenarios. Either the same thing, he wasn't ready to be in court. He didn't want to go to court. He didn't prepare for the case, so he killed her, which seems so extreme. And that's what we talked about in the show. That, or he was in collusion with, there was a lot of fingers pointing towards the ex-husband.
The ex-husband, yeah. That was the first thing I thought.
Yeah, that, or he colluded with the husband who's long since passed away. But yeah, so here, let me finish the story. The prosecutor's office previously said a police investigation revealed that on the day Sherman was killed, Moore sent text messages to her cell phone just before and after her death. Those messages indicated that Moore was in his office, but phone records, analysis, additional records, and witness statements show he was not in the building. He then made false statements to Cleveland police homicide detectives when questioned about his whereabouts. In 2017, like we said, he was sentenced for inducing panic and lying to police who were investigating her death. He pleaded guilty to inducing panic and falsification in connection with bomb threats called into the Geauga County Courthouse in January 2012 and the Lake County Courthouse in May 2012 and the Cuyahoga County Courthouse in July 2012.
That's so
He's calling him bomb threats. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Just to get out of work, though. Like,
to get out of work. He wasn't prepared for trial, so...
Clearly, this guy has extreme measures to not work.
Yes.
It's not out of the question he's going to murder someone to not work.
Insane. I think
can't be ruled out.
Yeah, I can't remember our exact discussions, but it seemed like he was possibly involved and colluding with something to lure her there, but it's too crazy to think that he actually killed her.
Yeah, well, I remember that, like, as she was showing up for the meeting, he's like, yeah, I'm here. But then, like, the cell phone pings ended up showing that he was like, no, he was like in another building across the street.
He wasn't even there.
He wasn't even where he was supposed to be.
This motherfucker got indicted today in her murder. So this is going to be something, man.
There will probably be some updates coming.
12 years it took.
And like this whole thing, I mean, we covered it on Patreon, but like it tore apart.
Patreon.com/Necronaumpod.
It like tore apart the whole family. I remember there was some outbursts going on at the funeral, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like one son sided with the dad and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
But, that's right. I forgot about that.
It was a wild one, but they held a vigil.
Downtown Cleveland.
Yeah, they held a vigil every year down there, and
I think they still do.
Yeah.
When we covered it, at least, I think they had still done it.
So finally, maybe some closure for this family. So, goddamn, after all these years. Great police work, apparently, though. But yeah, this just broke a couple hours ago. Breaking news!
I was going to say, we're like a fucking Carl Monday.
Yeah.
Well, we have our sources. Maybe Carl sent us a tip.
Maybe. If Carl was still in the game.
Maybe he didn't, but it doesn't matter.
He's out. Carl's out the game. Allegedly.
Well, you good kayfabe, Dave. I know you guys are on a texting basis.
So yeah,
those are some fucking good updates tonight.
You know, more to come on this one, but fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah, both of those stories I feel like we're gonna be revisiting here, either for Ian, maybe a womp womp, or something fucking awesome.
Hope it's not another egg story, right?
Yeah. And here comes News Nation.
Also, hopefully that guy doesn't release some like serious national like security stuff and fucks everything up.
I also that, everything to collapse and crumble.
Is that Chinese paratroopers landing? Invasion plans. They're like our whole defense network.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good OT. This was a solid OT. Action packed. I know I kid about it, but that really is that's a good story. An interesting story. Go check it out on Patreon.
And one of those you thought would never get solved.
Yeah,
there wasn't really much to go on.
As soon as her husband had dementia and then got into that nursing home and passed away, I figured that this was a done deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting though to see if they think he was involved or colluding with this attorney. That'd be like a whole other level.
And also what evidence they have against the attorney. Like what came to light.
This is going to be one to follow for sure.
If this guy killed her just because he wasn't prepared for the trial, that is fucking...
That's
insane.
Insanity.
Yeah.
That's just beyond.
That's how a normal, everyday, divorce becomes a true crime story. Right? Like just one of those stories where it's...
Yeah.
It's like out of nowhere now because this fuckboy doesn't want to do his job. Yeah. He kills her.
More to come.
Okay. Bye.